We're outsiders, you and I. On the periphery. Watching everybody else. Pretending we're just like them, but knowing we're not. Best we can hope for is to find a place where we don't have to pretend. It's a shame, really. Under different circumstances, I think we could have been great friends.
If there's a villain that I think had the most potential to be the best villain in Dexter, I'd pick Isaac. Even though season 7 felt on par with the first 4 seasons of the show, a huge disappointment was the sudden end to the Terminator. Today, I want to not only give my flowers to a great villain, but also give my points to why Isaak Sirko deserves so much more. The first thing that we know of Isaac is that he's one of the leaders in the Koshka Brotherhood. When one of the members, Victor, goes missing in Miami, Isaac makes it his mission to find him, pinpointing the location of a GPS bracelet Victor owned. Unfortunately, he seems to be 8 miles out at sea. Enraged by his friend's death, he dedicates every fiber in his being to finding the man responsible. In his quest for revenge, he finds an ISIS Louis Green, thank you, after learning the boat Victor's body was dumped from belongs to none other than Dexter Morgan. Soon after reading Dexter's file and realizing Victor's fate was revenge for Mike Anderson's death, Isaac frames an innocent man. Proving his capabilities further, later on he not only breaks into Dexter's house, but follows him into a trap. However, this is Isaak Sirko we're talking about, so when he ISIS 3 Colombians, he walks out of the bar the same way he entered, clean. However, since his blood was at the scene, he was arrested, but promises Dexter that they'll meet again. Due to evidence going missing, Isaac is released from prison and decides to sit down with Mr. Morgan to get to know him better. He lets Dexter know he won't be tricked again and understands that the man in front of him is a different kind of animal. The question
is, what kind are you, Dexter Morgan?
Thereafter, Sirko catches Dexter at the donut shop, but fails to riddle him with lead, planning to try again later. Because of his boss's never-ending pursuit for revenge, George Novikov hires an assassin to ice Isaac. This ultimately fails due to Dexter's intervention, attempting to stop Isaac himself. Later that day, Dexter follows Isaac into a bar, but instead of fighting, they have a heart-to-heart. It's revealed that Isaac and Victor were lovers, but because of his death and the Brotherhood's betrayal, he can't go back to Kiev. As Isaac leaves, Dexter doesn't go through with his plan, and similar to next season's villain, doesn't want to end him. Dexter's the least of Isaac's concerns, as 2 more assassins have been hired to take him out. Backed into a corner, he attempts to ask Dexter for help, but is rejected, so he kidnaps Hannah as a chess move. The 2 enemies are forced to work together and successfully take care of the Brotherhood assassins fairly easily. Unfortunately though, Isaac is left on 1 HP by George Novikov, but instead of going to the hospital, he wants to rest at sea with Victor. After one final heart-to-heart with Dexter, Isaak Sirko takes his final breath. When comparing Isaac to every other Dexter antagonist, his motivation for his actions are the most understandable. Even though Isaac committed horrible crimes, he was a man that wasn't evil for the sake of being evil. A common trait most of the villains in this series share. Despite being consumed by his rage and wanting revenge, he still managed to maintain honor with an unspoken code. Instead of focusing on Dexter's loved ones to make him feel the same pain he feels, he makes it very clear that Dexter is the one who needs to pay. It is only later in the season, when his life is on the line and his hand is forced, he decides to take a hostage, a courtesy most villains do not share. Because of Isaac's prime motivations, he doesn't even feel like the bad guy, instead feeling like a man drowning in vengeance. If we were in his shoes, I'm sure many of us would act similar and do everything to avenge the loved one. Although a revenge story is the most basic of them all, it works extremely well when our protagonist for 6 seasons has faced nothing but agents of chaos. This time around, we meet a man that is acting purely out of retaliation, even if his partner wasn't insane. I think Isaac's strongest highlight is the chemistry he and Dexter share. This can be said about literally every Dexter villain, but to me Isaac and Dexter's interactions are special. Not only can he relate to Dexter, but he has the most insight to what Dexter has always been seeking: real human connection. Isaak Sirko was a man of romance that believed in love even if it blinded you, compared to our friend here who, after having a wife, a family, and a new girlfriend, still has no clue. Isaac, in my opinion, taught Dexter the most important lesson out of all his enemies. When you find someone you don't have to lie to or hide who you really are, is when you truly feel
alive.
To put it plainly, Isaac and Dexter almost becoming friends despite everything they've done will always be one of the most wholesome arcs. Not to mention Isaac did tick all the boxes of the code, but still, Dexter didn't want to kill him. He even took the time to bury Isaac with his lover, further showing the special bond the two formed. Although Isaac and Dexter had better chemistry than Hannah and Dexter did, I think what really shines here is that Isaac was Dexter's first challenge. Believe it or not, it's actually exciting to see a villain that is Dexter's equal, or at least close to. The show tells us that Dexter has advanced jiu-jitsu under his belt, but these seasonal serial killers might as well be civilians. I think Isaak Sirko being intimidating and methodical not only poses a physical threat to Dexter, but also changes the pace nicely from the usual bad guys. One of the biggest letdowns of season 7 was the conclusion of Isaac's story. As much as we would love to blame the writers for his sudden end, the actor Ray Stevenson had scheduling conflicts while filming the movie Thor. Even though Isaac's final moments were memorable, I think his character was introduced with a huge presence and was just gone too soon. Even mentioning his substitute Hector Estrada is an insult. I mean, this guy is a part of Dexter's creation, but is only present in the last 2 episodes of season 7. I'm not buying it. Why was he not reintroduced earlier and taken out earlier are my only 2 questions. A gamble the show was too afraid of taking was letting a villain live or be present in multiple seasons. I mean, this is the show that emmed off Brian Moser, a crucial character that was in 4 novels, but technically lasted only 1 season. My point is, if there was a second character that deserved to live, Isaac is a perfect choice. He was able to accept what happened to Victor and no longer needed to hunt Dexter. This meant he could have easily been the reconciled villain, no longer consumed by rage and revenge. A man no longer connected to his country, seeking a fresh start elsewhere. I can almost hear him at the Miami airport saying something along the lines of, "Until next time, Dexter Morgan." I can put on everyone's soul that we all would have preferred this ending. But to be honest, I do still think the ending we got wasn't the worst, since in the end, Isaac got to rest on his own terms. But I can't help but theorize, what if George Novikov never betrayed Isaac? What if we got a tragic final fight between Dexter and Isaac, where we weren't even sure if we want Dex to take him out? Just think about the table scene we could have gotten, or the amazing finale that didn't have to include LaGuerta or Hector Estrada. Isaak Sirko deserved a different ending because of his insane likability. Not only is he British, but he is a man with honor and had a good reason for his vendetta against Dexter. Despite the friendship the 2 men formed, even beforehand, their interactions were more than entertaining and truly some of the best in the series. But maybe when a character has untapped potential, that is when they truly become memorable. Maybe a character gone too soon is the reason why he is still talked about to this very day. Whatever the answer may be, we can only thank Ray Stevenson for such a phenomenal villain. May you rest in peace. If you enjoyed hearing me talk about great characters that deserved more, follow the first rule of the code and subscribe. It may seem small to you, but it means the world to me. Have an amazing day.